Do you feel caught up in the whirlwind of a busy life? Take a moment to stop. Minimalism is not just about owning less, it's a way to live more meaningfully. In this video, we will explore how to apply minimalist principles to our daily lives, allowing us to live simply yet meaningfully. Let's embark on this journey right now. First, let's find out what minimalism is. Minimalism, simply put, is about owning only what is truly necessary and saying no to the rest. In contrast to minimalism is consumerism. Consumerism is the lifestyle of most people today. This lifestyle encourages more consumption and the ownership of more material possessions. Last week, I made a video about how consumerism destroys our lives. It transforms people living in modern society into a new kind of slaves, making us trade our freedom and happiness for trivial material things. For those who haven't seen it, I'll leave it on the last screen of the video. Returning to minimalism. This is a lifestyle that affects nearly all aspects of our lives, not just materially but also in our thoughts, relationships, time, and work. However, in today's video, I will only discuss the material aspect of minimalism because, in my opinion, this is the most valuable aspect as it directly affects our lives by helping us break free from the control of consumerism and the pressure of money. Honestly, as long as we can break free from the slavery of money and material possessions, and achieve freedom for ourselves, that is already a great blessing. Now, let's dive into how to apply minimalism to our lives. The most important thing in adopting this lifestyle is to identify what is essential for us and what is not. Each person has different needs, therefore, there will be no common outcome for everyone. We will need to use questions to determine what is necessary for our lives. Before purchasing anything, there are three main questions we should ask ourselves to figure out if an item is truly necessary. Are we buying it because we need it or just for others to see? What value does it bring to us? Do we already have a similar item at home? If we don't have it, will our quality of life really be affected? Let me give you an example for better understanding. For the first question, I'll use the familiar example of buying clothes. Before purchasing any new clothing, we just need to ask ourselves whether we are buying it because we need it or because we want others to see it. This is when we must be honest with ourselves. If it's winter and we need warm clothes, then that's a necessity. However, if we're buying it just because it looks nice, we're essentially seeking compliments from those around us. For the second question, it is, what value does it bring to us? Let's take the example of buying a phone. The other day, my phone got wet in the rain, causing the screen to go black. So I went to buy a new one. I bought a phone that wasn't too expensive. Then, the staff there asked me why I didn't sign up for installment payments to buy a more expensive phone. On the way home, I had a counter question. Why should I spend extra money to buy a more expensive phone? Because no matter which phone I have, I only use a few specific applications. If I buy a more expensive phone, I still won't use any additional apps. Then I realized that the reason is how people perceive the phone differently. I view the phone from a functional perspective, while many see it as a piece of jewelry. And if it's jewelry, it's just for others to see. So we need to eliminate that. From this, we see that when we look at an item from the perspective of its function and the value it brings us, we can determine whether it is necessary for us or not. For the remaining questions, we will apply a similar approach. Before we buy anything, if we simply ask ourselves these questions and answer them, we will know what is truly necessary for us. Now, let's move on to the next part. One of the greatest benefits of minimalism is that it helps us reduce unnecessary responsibilities and negative emotions. One of the most relatable examples is owning a motorcycle. When I was younger, while the whole family took a nap, no one worried about theft because we only had one old motorcycle. Even if thieves saw it, they would be too lazy to take it. But once we got a new motorcycle, things changed. Every time before taking a nap, my parents would lock it up carefully. And while sleeping, they'd still worry that someone might steal it. Those of you from rural areas will understand this, as security is quite poor in the countryside. From this, we can see that owning an item always comes with the feeling of anxiety about losing that item. Another example is if we see a guy kissing a girl we don't know. We wouldn't care. But if we see a guy kissing our girlfriend, we would pay attention. Ownership always comes with responsibility. The more you own, the more responsibilities and unnecessary negative emotions you have. Now, let's move on to the next part. Knowing what we need to do and whether we can do it are two completely different things. I know that shopping can also be an addiction. So sometimes we know what we need to do for the betterment of our lives. But we cannot overcome temptation. In my opinion, the best way to overcome temptation and practice minimalism is to understand why we choose this lifestyle. Only by knowing clearly why we want to do something can we find the motivation to overcome difficulties and implement it. I believe there are two main reasons we should choose this lifestyle. The first reason is to help oneself escape from the majority of the influence of money. When we are not dependent on money, we won't have to do things we dislike or be around people we hate. The second reason is to reduce unnecessary responsibilities, worries, and negative emotions, which in turn makes our lives lighter. Through today's video, we have understood what minimalism is. Simply put, minimalism means owning only what is truly necessary and saying no to the rest. I have provided you with specific questions to help you identify what is essential for you and what is not. Next, I shared 2 reasons why we should choose this lifestyle. The first reason is to free oneself from being a slave to money, not having to do things you don't like or be around people you hate, thereby achieving freedom. The second reason is to reduce unnecessary responsibilities, worries, or negative emotions. Additionally, last year I watched a very interesting talk about simple living on TED Talk. The video is titled, "Life is Easy." This is a talk by a speaker from Thailand, and the video tells the story of his life. Like all of us, after graduating, he went to Bangkok, the capital of Thailand, to seek success for himself. There, he had to work hard for 8 hours a day. But for each meal, he could only eat instant noodles or fried rice. He lived in a small room with many others, and the room was very hot. After 7 years there, he became so frustrated that he decided to give it all up and return to his homeland. In his village, he spent 2 months each year planting and harvesting rice. For the remaining 10 months, he only needed to spend 15 minutes a day taking care of his garden. With just that amount of work, he could support 6 mouths to feed in the house, instead of having to work hard for 8 hours a day and still not making ends meet like before. While living in the city, owning a house was just a dream for him. But in the countryside, with just 2 hours a day, he could build a house for himself in 3 months. So every year, he would have a new house. Which means that even though he doesn't have money now, he has many houses. This is a video about how to live a simple life that impressed me and changed my mindset a lot. So you can look it up and watch it. Now, I'll see you in the next video. And I wish you all a great day.